What's up, YouTube friends? We're back here with the 42-inch LG C3. And today, the feature that I want to talk about with this LG C3 is going to be the game optimizer or game dashboard, depending on how you refer to it. So let me pull it up real quick and show you what I'm talking about. When you're in a game mode on your LG C3, you press the settings button on your remote and it's going to pull up this little quick menu right here. And if you're unaware, what's cool about this is you can actually adjust what data you see in here, which I'll go ahead and show you real quick. You click this little pencil button, and I forget exactly what info comes up here, straight out of the box, and you haven't touched anything yet. But as you can see, I've chosen to update these to show 4 things that I find more important than the rest of these. So you can see here, I have a frames per second counter, what resolution is currently displayed, whether variable refresh rate is on or off, and whether HDR is on or off. You have some other options to choose from. You have black stabilizer settings here, whether low latency is on or off, AI game sound, whether Dolby Atmos is currently on or off, and of course input lag, whether you have boost or whatever. So what I want to talk about today in this video is, while it's all great and it's really cool that LG has this particular feature for your gaming, so when you're gaming on the fly, you can just hit the settings button on the remote, you can go in here and check certain settings, you can actually adjust these settings within the optimizer menu here. But I've often wondered just how accurate are these particular things right here. And in today's video, I'm actually going to do some testing to see if these are in fact accurate and can be trusted. So I'm going to do these at the console level first, okay? So this is why we're sitting at the home menu here on the PS5. And you can see right now it's saying it's 60 frames, it's holding steady, and it's 4K, okay? So basically it's telling you it's 4K 60 with HDR on for your PlayStation 5 home menu. So one of the cool things about PlayStation 5 when they added in support for 1440p is you can actually go into your settings and do a quick test. So we'll go ahead and go up to settings. We'll navigate our way to screen and video. And as you can see right here, you can test for 1440p output. And within this menu, it's going to give you some options here that the console is going to go ahead and test to see if your display can actually do all of these. And what's cool about this is this will give us a first opportunity here at the console level to see if these game dashboard data points will actually function properly. So unfortunately, it doesn't give you very much time between each test to make up your mind whether it's working properly or not. So I'm gonna have to kind of rush through it a little bit, but within this video, you'll be able to see in real time in the video the data changes that are going on right through here. And that's what we're gonna focus on. Is you could see they're going to test for 60 hertz. So, we would expect this to remain, 60. Once it starts testing for 120, we're going to be looking to see if this actually changes. And then of course the resolution should change the entire time because it's actually testing for 1440. So the baseline expectation here is this should go away from 4K and drop down to 1440. And then the whole HDR part will be manipulated by the fact that it's going to test for SDR first. We would expect to see this go off. And as HDR is being tested, we'll see it turn back on. So let's go ahead and get the testing started and see if that actually takes place. So let me go ahead and back out of it and then go back in so that it doesn't clear away real quick. And we're going to go ahead and perform our first test here, 60 hertz SDR. It's going to flash. And right away you see 60 FPS, there it is. The resolution changed to 1440, and look at that, HDR over there on the right is turned off. I'm gonna click yes so it'll move to the next test. HDR should come back on. It absolutely did. You see the flag on the right. 1440 resolution still stayed at 60 frames. So far we're looking good at the console level. We're gonna move to the next test here. This is gonna start to incorporate 120 frames per second. It says 119. I notice it mostly says that, but we did stay at 1440. VRR is off and HDR is still on. We move on to the next one. Now we're incorporating variable refresh rate up to 60 frames. It changed to 59. We have 1440 still showing for resolution, and the HDR flag is still turned on, so this looks right. And then right here, it changed it to 47, even though it's supposed to test up to 120, so I'm a little curious about that. Resolution stayed at 1440, VRR and HDR flag stayed on, so seems to be working properly, with the exception of that 120 hertz. That's a little perplexing to me. So here you kind of have a item summarization report here of each one of these categories and what's supported. Like I said, it bothers me a little bit that that frames counter didn't jump up to 119 or 120 on the last test. It kept it down low for some reason, but at the end of the day, it says it's supported, so that's all we need to go off of. But the key point of this test was I wanted to see if the 4 points right there through the middle that I have set up here actually worked at the console level, and the base or the results of this testing says yes, these are working at the console level. Now, what I find to be more important than this particular test, is I'm going to go ahead and back out to the main menu. What I want to know, which would be more important to me personally, is are these particular items working at the game level? And so what I want to do in my next upcoming video is I'm going to begin testing at the game level. And I'm probably going to start with something like Call of Duty, because that's the game that I typically play the most. And I'll be real curious to see how these particular items are changed within an actual gameplay session on Call of Duty. And then I'll rotate in some other videos, like I'm going to do another gameplay in the future of, say, Dying Light 2, because that's an SDR title. So I would fully expect some of these to change. Also on like Dying Light 2, I play on the performance mode only, because I'm somebody when I'm gaming, once I got a taste of the higher frame rates and what that felt like, that buttery smooth movement and stuff, it's almost impossible for me to enjoy a gaming session when you're playing a game with 30 frames and under, something like that. The movement just feels too choppy. Even if you're giving me higher resolution, you know, as a you know, something on the side to help out with that, it's just too much. I'd much rather have lower resolution and higher FPS. That's just me. So I'm going to be doing some testing on Dying Light 2 to check in and see if, you know, things over here are reporting accurately, and more importantly, how these two right here are registering. Because in that performance mode, there's no way you're getting true 4K resolution, and I'll be curious to see what the frames per second counter is showing for that. So that's a little taste of what to expect in this series coming up. If those sort of things interest you and you're not subscribed yet, now would be a great time to jump on board. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss my uploads when they hit. Also, if you did enjoy this video and this content in general, consider hitting that like button. Doesn't cost you anything, helps get my videos out, and really helps support the channel. And with all that being said, as always, until the next one.